What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Express Mail. My mailman journey has been pretty good. I mean, I can't really complain about a lot of the things that went on. Early in my postal career, I would come in and just, be kind of confused about some of the things. And, it always kind of felt like I didn't know what was going on, really. I was just showing up to work. But as time went on, I made mistakes. I threw away mail, put it in the UBBM and messed up a whole lot. But you really can't let those things set you back, like you're going to hear a lot of backlash and a lot of talk from the supervisors and everything, and they're going to try to rush you, or they're going to try to make you feel like this job is just not for you. I was a CCA for about a year. And while I was a CCA, one of my coworkers' sons had passed away. So I was able to hold that route down the whole time she was gone in grievance. And I ran that route for about 6 months every single day. And guys, when I say I was excited, because once I learned that route, I was running through that route, man, and I was done at noon, lunchtime. I was usually done with that route. And so after I finished that route, they would usually give me something extra to do. Either helping other carriers, because if you're a CCA, you're going to have to help the regular carriers get off of the street so they won't go into overtime. That's your job. You basically can't leave the post office until all the regular carriers are back in the office. I'm not sure if that's how it works in your office, but that's how it's always been in mine up until recently. So I would finish my route noontime, 1 o'clock, run through it real quick, and then I would go and help out another carrier. And so it got to the point where my supervisor was expecting me to run 2 routes in one day. I was running through that route, and then I'll take half of another route until I eventually took the whole thing of the other route. So 2 routes in one day. The other carriers were looking at me, man. They was laughing. They were just like, man, he gonna run himself into the ground. I make the same amount of money that he does, but with less work, basically, is what they were saying about me. And I didn't really care. I felt like being an overachiever was something that people would look at me as, that would be a compliment, something that my postmaster would love. But no. That's not how the post office works. If you are really fast and running and breaking yourself down, they're only using that to their advantage. They're saving money. And honestly, guys, the best thing for you to do is to work a honest 8 hours. If that's all you got, do 8 hours, man. But if you're trying to overachieve and run 2 and 3 routes in one day, man, I'm telling you, you are cheating yourself out of a life, period. You know what I mean? Because as long as the other carriers know that you're going to be the one that's going to run, they don't have to do much work. They're going to take their time, make more money on the street, and expect you to come and take the rest of the load. It happens to the best of us in the beginning. Going fast is something that I felt like was going to make me an overachiever, and I'm the type of guy that likes to master whatever I do. So learning how to be a mailman was something that I wanted to excel in. I didn't realize that I was going to be taken advantage of, and that's what eventually started happening. And so I looked up one day, and an older carrier, his name was Drew, he came to me and he said, man, brother, you're not going to be able to do that for 30 years. At the rate that you're going to have bad knees, a bad back, everything, man. You got to slow down. Please slow down. Even just take my word for it. So I was like, man, I don't know if I can slow down. I have been going so fast. I have been skipping lunch breaks and everything. I don't recommend you guys skip your lunch breaks, okay? Take your lunch break, bro. If you're a carrier and you skipping your lunch breaks, man, I'm telling you, they're taking that money from you. That 30 minutes extra that you working every day, you are doing that for free. All right? So take your lunch breaks. Take your 2 15-minute breaks. Man, please. All right? So anyway, Drew told me those things, and I was like, man, I just don't know if I can slow down. So I intentionally tried to slow down. I took my lunch break. I sat down inside of a restaurant where I ate, talked to some of the people, and just got to know everybody that was in the area. And I took my time. Man, my postmaster was so upset. So he was planning on me going and relieving everybody else that was running behind. I ended up running my route and also getting a little bit of overtime too. I probably got about 30 minutes overtime. And so my postmaster was like, what took you so long? And I was like, I'm just, the route is an 8-hour route. So, I mean, it just took 8 hours today and a little bit over. And he was like, no, that is not how you run the route. You've been running these routes and you've been getting done at 1 o'clock. I need you to continue doing that. And I was like, okay. Because I feared my job. I felt like I was going to lose my job if I didn't continue doing what he told me to do. That was wrong, because even if I had to work my 8 hours, man, it wasn't much that he could do with me. As long as I wasn't costing the post office money, there was nothing he can do with me. I was efficient. I learned to not throw first class mail in the UBBM, the carriers. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because I struggled with that in the beginning. I didn't know what first class mail was, second class mail, pre-sort standard. Didn't know nothing about that, because in the academy, I know they taught us, but it just didn't stick with me. And when you get to the post office, you really get a little bit of training and then they throw you out to the wolves. So I know that's why some of you guys feel lost and alone, but I'm telling you, we all go through that same thing. We all go through that. So anyway, I got out the next day, I ran the route, came back, and did my regular 1 o'clock thing. And I went and helped out 3 other carriers after that. And so my friend Drew came back to me and he said, man, listen to me, bro. The union got your back. Don't let this man run you to the ground. If he's telling you to run, that's a safety hazard. And I was like, safety hazard? What's that? So he broke down the safety hazard in the union. Don't go too fast because you'll hurt yourself. Pretty much is what it was. And if I hurt myself, then the union would not represent me because I was out there running. So I started to take my time, and the postmaster drilled me every single day, y'all. He drilled me, and I was nervous about it at first. I really was. But, I made that my consistent pace, and he started to kind of ease up off of me, and he started to allocate those other regular routes to the CCAs that were available. So I was able to run my route and help out one person, pretty much. So I was still being a CCA. It wasn't nothing he can do to me. And so after I ran that route for 6 months, the regular carrier on that route ended up coming back. And so I had to float around. As a CCA, you're going to run whatever route that is available that day. And you have to work with the other carriers to try to figure out how this route is ran, what to do, where the dog's at, all the works. So I ran a few other routes after that until I eventually ran every route in the post office. And y'all, trying to figure out how to case those different routes, man, it took me a long time. So you're not alone as far as casing those routes. It's very difficult, especially when you're not from the town that you're delivering the mail in, which was me. I'm not from Vicksburg, but while I was here, man, I learned Vicksburg better than my own hometown. I know every single street in Vicksburg like a map in my brain. If I go home right now to my hometown, I wouldn't know how to get to certain places. I would still have to use GPS in my hometown. So that's how good I've learned my city right now because of me being a mail carrier. So what you have to do is you have to know the book. You have to know what the union can represent you for. You have to know what you can and can't do, and you'll be fine. The supervisors will tell you anything. That don't matter, especially if they know that you don't understand your own rules. They'll run you to the ground. But if you got a good union steward and a good union period in your office, they'll catch on to that, and they'll tell you what to do, and they'll work with you, But don't let the supervisors and the postmasters change the way you feel about your job. Your job is important to everybody, all right? And I know, again, a lot of people can't handle what we do, but hold on to it. Stick with it, man, all right? Okay, it's Express Mail. I just wanted to give you guys some intel on what I've been through as a mail carrier. I'm going to keep this little story time thing running because I have a lot more things to share with you guys. And also, I have a video about Amazon and USPS that you guys got to check out. It'll be on the screen. See you guys later, man. Have a good day.